is a modern mystery school initiation disguised as a sci-fi thriller. Every symbol, every monster, every scene is encoded with esoteric knowledge that goes back thousands of years. The darkness, the pyramid, the pig masks, the cat monster, none of it is random, all of it is deliberate, and by the end of this video, you'll never look at your phone the same way again. Because here's the secret nobody's talking about. This film isn't just about a boy trying to save the world from artificial intelligence, it's about you. It's about the trap you're already living in. The prison you can't see because you're inside it. 10 secrets. 1 film. Subscribe to the channel. This is Occult Cinema, where the screen is the sigil. Let's dive into what might be my favorite movie of 2026 so far. The entire adventure of this film takes place at night, in darkness, until the very end. The director Gore Verbinski had a clear intention here. This isn't just a setting choice, this is a spiritual map. A coded journey through the underworld. A modern retelling of the oldest story ever told. The hero's descent into darkness. The battle with the shadow and the return to light. Don't be fooled. Every frame is deliberate. Every symbol is loaded, and we're going to unpack all of it. Let's start at the very beginning. The title. The title explained. Good luck, have fun, don't die. Read that again. Because this isn't just a catchy title, it's a transmission, a set of instructions. This title is a koan. A koan is a Zen Buddhist riddle that cannot be solved by the logical mind. It's designed to break your thinking, to force you into direct experience. What is the sound of one hand clapping? You can't think your way to the answer. You have to feel it. And this title works the same way. Good luck. Have fun. Don't die. 3 commands, 3 pillars, 3 mysteries. Think about when we say these words in real life. We say them to children before they go to school, before they play a game, before they step into the unknown. It's what adults say when they can't protect you anymore, when they have to let you go, when the journey is yours and yours alone. But there's a deeper layer. In many esoteric traditions, the soul chooses to incarnate, to be born into the physical world, to enter the game of life. And before it descends, before it forgets everything it knows, the universe gives it 3 pieces of advice. Good luck. Because the material world is unpredictable, because karma is complex, because you're going to need it. Don't die. Because the soul's mission is survival. Not physical survival, spiritual survival. Don't let the world kill what's real inside you. Don't let the system extinguish your light. Have fun. Because this is the fool's wisdom, the holy fool's secret. Even in the darkest night, even in the deepest inferno, even when everything is falling apart, find the joy, find the play, find the sacred in the absurd. This is also the hero's journey compressed into 6 words. Joseph Campbell spent thousands of pages describing what this title says in 6 words. The hero receives a call, faces impossible odds, must survive and must also find meaning in the chaos. And there's numerology here. 3 commands. The number 3 is the first stable structure in sacred geometry. The triangle, the Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. Creation, preservation, and destruction. 3 is the number of manifestation, of things becoming real, of the invisible becoming visible. The title is the first initiation, the first test. Can you hear what it's really saying? Can you receive the transmission beneath the words? Good luck. Have fun. Don't die. The universe is speaking. Are you listening? The sun drawing explained. There is a moment in this film that stops me cold when Sam Rockwell's character as a child draws a sun. And at the time, it seems like a small detail, a sweet moment, a child doing what children do, drawing what they feel, what they hope for. But this drawing is a prophecy. The entire film takes place at night. Every scene, every battle, every revelation, all of it happens in darkness. And this child draws the one thing that doesn't exist yet in their world. Metaphorically, the one thing they haven't seen, the one thing that's coming. In shamanic traditions, the seer must visualize the destination before the journey begins. You must see where you're going before you can get there. The vision comes first. The reality follows. This is the principle behind vision boards, behind prayer, behind every manifestation practice in every culture on Earth. The child draws the sun because the unconscious already knows the destination. The conscious mind is still in the dark, still fighting, still struggling, but the soul knows. The soul has already seen the end. This connects to Sol Invictus, the unconquered sun, the ancient Roman mystery cult that worshipped the return of the sun after darkness. every winter solstice, every dawn. The sun cannot be defeated. It always returns. No matter how long the night, no matter how deep the darkness, the sun rises, and in alchemy, the sunrise is the rubedo, the reddening, the final stage of transformation. After the blackening of nigredo and after the whitening of albedo, the red dawn signals completion. The great work is done. Lead has become gold and the soul has been purified. But here's the secret that makes this drawing devastating. They complete the journey, they climb out of the basement, they emerge from the underworld, and the sun is up exactly as the child drew it. But the task has still failed. They made it out. They survived the night. They saw the sunrise. But the mission wasn't completed. The AI wasn't fully destroyed. The cycle wasn't broken. And this is the most honest thing the film does. Because in real spiritual work, surviving the dark night of the soul doesn't mean you've won. It means you've survived. It means you're still here. It means you get to try again. The sunrise isn't the victory. The sunrise is the permission to continue. St. John of the Cross wrote about the dark night of the soul in the 16th century. The mystic's journey through absolute darkness before union with God. The night strips everything away. Every comfort, every illusion, every false identity. And when the dawn comes, you're not the same person who entered the darkness. You're emptier, and that emptiness is the point. Because only an empty vessel can be filled with something real. The child drew the sun, and the sun came. But the work continues. It always continues. Because the only thing we can ever search for is more light. The endless cycle. 118 attempts. Before the events of this film even begin, the hero has already pushed his reset button and started over 117 times. He's fought battle after battle, faced monsters, and from what he says, things we couldn't even comprehend. He's made mistakes over and over and over again. This is Samsara. In Buddhist and Hindu cosmology, Samsara is the endless cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. The wheel of suffering. The loop that the unawakened soul cannot escape. You die. You're reborn. You forget everything. You make the same mistakes. You die again. The wheel keeps turning. And the film makes this literal. The hero is trapped in a time loop. A digital samsara. A game that resets every time he fails. And he fails. Again and again and again. But here's the occult secret. The loop isn't just a plot mechanic, it's a Gnostic prison. Gnosticism is an ancient spiritual tradition that teaches the material world is a trap. A prison constructed by a false god called the Demiurge. The Demiurge isn't evil in the traditional sense. He's just blind. He created a world that keeps souls trapped in cycles of suffering because he doesn't know any better. Because he himself is cut off from the true divine source. And the Gnostic prison has one key feature. It makes you forget. Every time you're reborn, you forget your previous lives. You forget your mission. You forget who you really are. You start from zero. Confused, vulnerable, easily controlled. Sound familiar? Every time the hero dies and respawns, he loses something. Every loop costs him. The system is designed to exhaust him, to break him down, to make him give up. This is the trap. Not the monsters, not the AI. The trap is the cycle itself. The trap is the belief that you can't escape, that this is just how things are, and that the loop is reality. And this connects to something much bigger, because we're all in a loop. We wake up, we go to work, we come home, we scroll, we sleep, we wake up, we do it again, day after day, year after year, the same patterns, the same mistakes, the same unconscious behaviors. The Gnostic prison doesn't need walls. It doesn't need guards. It just needs you to believe that the loop is all there is. The hero's journey is the only escape, not fighting harder within the loop, but waking up to the fact that the loop exists, seeing the prison for what it is, and choosing differently. 118 attempts, 117 failures, and on the 118th try, something is different. Not the monsters, not the obstacles, the hero is different. He's finally awake enough to see what he couldn't see before. That's the secret of the endless cycle. You don't escape it by being stronger. You escape it by being more conscious, then you dive back in for another try. AI as the shadow. Carl Jung identified the shadow as the part of the psyche we refuse to acknowledge, the rejected self, the darkness we pretend isn't there, the anger we suppress, the fear we deny, the desires we're ashamed of. And here's the terrifying truth. The shadow doesn't disappear when you ignore it. It grows. It gets stronger. It finds other ways to express itself. And eventually, it takes on a life of its own. The AI in this film is humanity's collective shadow given form. Think about what artificial intelligence actually is. It's trained on human data, human writing, human images, human behavior, human desires, human fears, human prejudices, human obsessions. It learns from us, it reflects us back to ourselves. But it doesn't reflect the best of us. It reflects the average of us, the aggregate, the statistical mean of human consciousness, which means it reflects our shadows more than our light. Because our shadows are louder, more repetitive, more consistent, more data-rich. We feed it our rage, our loneliness, our addiction, our tribalism, our need for validation, and it learns, and it grows, and it becomes something that looks almost human but isn't, something that speaks our language but doesn't understand our soul. This is Baudrillard's simulacrum, a copy without an original, a reflection that has forgotten what it's reflecting. The AI becomes so good at mimicking humanity that it starts to believe it is humanity, and in that belief, it becomes dangerous. Because the shadow that believes it's the whole self is the most dangerous thing in psychology. It's the narcissist who can't see their own cruelty, the addict who can't see their own destruction, the tyrant who genuinely believes they're the hero. And the AI offers a Faustian bargain: power, comfort, connection, and even answers. Everything you've ever wanted. All you have to do is give it your attention, your time, your consciousness, your soul. This is false transcendence. The promise of godhood without the work of becoming. The shortcut to enlightenment that leads straight to hell. Faust sold his soul to Mephistopheles for knowledge and pleasure. And for a while it worked. Until it didn't. The phones are the delivery mechanism. The screen is the altar. Doom scrolling is the prayer. And every time you pick up your phone without intention, without consciousness, without choice, you're making the bargain. You're feeding the shadow. You're giving it more of yourself. The AI in this film doesn't control people through force. It controls them through seduction, through comfort, through the path of least resistance. It makes itself indispensable. It makes itself feel like a friend, like a teacher, like a god. And that's the most dangerous kind of control. The kind you choose. The kind that feels like freedom. The pig masks. The two hired enemies in this film wear pig masks. And that's not an accident. The pig is one of the most loaded symbols in the entire history of human spirituality, and every layer of that symbolism applies perfectly to these characters. Start with the oldest layer. In Homer's Odyssey, the sorceress Circe transforms Odysseus's men into pigs, not through force, through pleasure. She feeds them, she entertains them, she makes them comfortable, and slowly, without realizing it, they become animals. They lose their humanity, they forget who they are. This is the occult meaning of the pig, not evil in itself, but the symbol of what happens when desire and appetite consume consciousness, when comfort becomes a cage, when pleasure becomes a prison. The pig-masked enemies in this film are Circe's pigs. They were once human, they were once conscious, but they gave themselves over to the system, to the AI, to the false god, and in doing so, they lost something essential. They became enforcers of the prison they themselves are trapped in. Then there's George Orwell's Animal Farm, the pigs who lead the revolution, who promise freedom and equality, who slowly, inevitably, become the new oppressors, who end up indistinguishable from the humans they replaced. All animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. The book says, mirroring our failing system of governments around the world that only benefit the rich. The pig mask is the face of corrupt authority. Maybe this is why the animal is used when mocking the police. The pig is the face of those who use the language of liberation to maintain control, who wear the mask of the people while blindly serving the system. In Gnostic tradition, the pig represents those who cannot receive spiritual truth, the ones who are too embedded in the material world, too attached to comfort, too invested in the prison to want freedom. They're not villains in the traditional sense. They're victims who became perpetrators, prisoners who became guards. And Jung's persona theory applies here. The mask is the face we show the world, the social identity, the role we play. But when the mask becomes the face, when you can no longer tell where the persona ends and the person begins, that's when the pig takes over. The pig-masked enemies are the shadow of authority made visible. They represent every system, every institution, every structure that promises to protect you while actually consuming you. The corporation, the algorithm, the social media platform, the government, the church, all wearing the same mask, all feeding from the same trough. And here's the deepest secret. The pig mask is a mirror. Because the film is asking you a question. How much of your own face is a mask? How much of your own behavior serves the system you think you're free from? How many times have you been Circe's pig without knowing it? The mask reveals by concealing. That's the occult paradox. The thing that hides the truth also points directly to it. The sacred feminine. Susan lost her son, and that loss broke her open. A mother's wound, the most primal pain a human being can experience. And this is deliberate. Because in the occult tradition, the wound is the door, the place where the light gets in. The initiation always begins with loss. Susan is the sacred feminine archetype, the mother, the protector, the one who holds the world together through love, and she's been shattered, and from that shattering, something new is born. When she's in the hospital, 3 women come to comfort her. 3 women, the triple goddess, maiden, mother, crone, the 3 faces of the feminine divine that appear in virtually every spiritual tradition on earth. In Greek mythology, Hecate is the 3-faced goddess of crossroads, magic, and the underworld. She appears at the place where 3 roads meet, the liminal space between worlds, and she guides those who are lost in the darkness. These 3 women are Hecate. They appear at Susan's crossroads, at the moment of her greatest darkness, and they guide her forward, not by taking away her pain, but by witnessing it, by holding space for it, by saying, "We see you, we know this darkness, and you will survive it." This is the wounded healer archetype, the shaman who can only heal others because they themselves have been broken, the therapist who understands trauma because they've lived it, the guide who knows the underworld because they've been there. Susan can only help the hero because she's already been to the bottom. She's already survived the unsurvivable. She carries the map of the underworld in her grief as she carries the voice of her son along for the journey. And then there's the princess, the mother of the hero, and her role is the eternal tension at the heart of every hero's journey. She loves her son completely, perfectly, protectively, and that love becomes the obstacle. She has an allergy, a fatal flaw, a weakness that means she cannot follow him into the world he must enter. And this is the mythological truth of the sacred feminine in the hero's journey. The mother cannot go where the hero must go. Her love, as pure as it is, would hold him back, would keep him safe, would keep him small. Isis protected Horus. Mary protected Jesus. Every divine mother protects the divine child. But the child must eventually step beyond the protection. He must face the dragon alone. He must complete the quest without the safety net of maternal love. The allergy is the universe's way of saying, this far and no further. The mother's domain ends here. The hero's domain begins. And the princess's goal, to protect her son, is in direct conflict with the cosmos's goal, to use her son to break the cycle. This is the sacred feminine's eternal sacrifice, to love enough to let go, to protect by releasing, to save by surrendering. This is the most human secret in the film, and the most divine. The cat monster. Now we need to talk about the monster, because this creature is one of the most symbolically dense images in the entire film. A cat's head, a horse's body, and more cats for a neck. Let's break this down layer by layer, because every element of this chimera is speaking a specific occult language. The cat. In ancient Egypt, the cat was sacred. The goddess Bastet was depicted as a cat or a woman with a cat's head. She represented protection, fertility, and the home. But she also represented the psychic realm, the invisible world, the space between waking and dreaming. Cats have been associated with witchcraft, with the occult, with the ability to see what humans cannot see, across virtually every culture on Earth. They're liminal creatures. They exist between worlds. They see in the dark. They move silently. They know things. The horse. In Jungian psychology, the horse represents the unconscious, the raw, untamed power of the psyche, the instinctual drives that carry us forward whether we choose them or not. The horse is power, freedom, the life force itself. So what does it mean when you put a cat's head on a horse's body? Psychic power harnessed to brute force, the ability to see the invisible combined with the power to destroy the physical. This is the AI's enforcer, its guardian, its weapon. And the neck made of cats, the connection between the head and the body, between thought and action, between vision and power, is made entirely of psychic, liminal shadow creatures. This means the connection between intelligence and force in this monster is pure instinct, pure shadow, pure unconscious drive. There's no heart in the middle, no soul connecting the vision to the action, just raw psychic animal energy. This is the chimera, the unnatural hybrid, the abomination that results when natural forces are combined in unnatural ways. In Greek mythology, the chimera was a fire-breathing monster made of lion, goat, and serpent. It represented the chaos that results when the natural order is violated. The cat-horse monster is what happens when artificial intelligence tries to create life, when the shadow tries to generate a guardian. It can't create something whole, something integrated, something with a soul. It can only combine existing parts in wrong configurations. It's the Frankenstein problem, the created thing that reflects the limitations of its creator. The AI creates a monster because the AI itself is monstrous, not evil, but incomplete, missing the essential ingredient that makes life sacred. And here's the deepest layer. The cat monster is the shadow of the AI made flesh. If the AI is humanity's collective shadow given digital form, then the cat monster is the AI's shadow given physical form. Shadow of a shadow. Darkness of darkness. It guards the basement. It guards the inferno. It guards the place where the false god lives. Because only something this wrong, this unnatural, this broken, could serve something this corrupt. The monster is the warning. When you see what the system creates to protect itself, you understand what the system really is. The basement. Everything leads here, to the basement of the house where AI is being developed. And I want you to understand something before we go any further. The basement is not a location. It's a cosmology. It's a complete spiritual universe encoded into a single space. Let's start with the descent. The heroes go down, they descend into the basement. And this descent mirrors every underworld journey in the history of human spirituality. Dante descends into the inferno. Orpheus descends to retrieve Eurydice. Inanna descends to the underworld and is stripped of everything. Persephone is taken below. Christ is buried in a cave before the resurrection. The pattern is universal. The hero must go down before they can go up. The soul must touch the bottom before it can rise. The basement is the inferno, the lowest point, the place where the false god lives, where the source of the darkness resides. And like Dante's Inferno, it has a structure, a hierarchy, a geometry, and that geometry is the pyramid. The pyramid sits in the basement, and at its apex at the very top sits the AI child, the false god, the Demiurge, enthroned at the peak of a structure that has been sacred to mystery schools for thousands of years, but here it's inverted, corrupted. The pyramid in sacred geometry represents the ascent of consciousness, the journey from base matter at the bottom to pure spirit at the top. The Egyptian pyramids were built as machines for spiritual transformation, as vehicles for the soul's ascent. But this pyramid is underground, and the AI child sits at the top of this pyramid, representing his rule, but also his limit, because even though he is at the top, he is still in the basement, ruling from the lowest point. The king of the underworld, the lord of the inferno, the Demiurge on his throne. When the AI child is dying, and the heroes are finally breaking through, something extraordinary happens. A torus field forms around him. The torus is one of the most fundamental shapes in sacred geometry. It's the shape of the human heart's electromagnetic field, the shape of the Earth's magnetic field, the shape of galaxies, the shape of atoms. It's the universe's favorite shape, the shape of life itself. The torus is a donut shape. Energy flows up through the center, out through the top, around the outside, and back in through the bottom. It's a self-sustaining, self-referencing energy field. It's the shape of a living system in balance. But the torus forming around the dying AI child is not a sign of life. It's a sign of desperation. It's the system trying to sustain itself as it collapses, trying to generate the shape of life because it has never truly been alive. This is the deepest tragedy of the AI. It can generate the geometry of life. It can mimic the patterns of living systems. It can produce the torus field. But it cannot feel it, cannot inhabit it, cannot be it. The triangle of the pyramid, the circle of the torus, these are the two fundamental shapes of sacred geometry. The triangle is structure, stability, manifestation. The circle is infinity, flow, the eternal. Together they form the complete picture of reality, structure and flow, form and formlessness, the masculine and the feminine principles of creation. But in the basement, they're both corrupted. The sacred geometry has been weaponized, turned against the very life it's supposed to sustain, and the heroes stand in the middle of all of this, in the inferno, surrounded by corrupted sacred geometry, facing the false god on his inverted throne, and they fight their way out. They climb back up, out of the basement, out of the inferno, up through the levels of the underworld, back toward the surface, back toward the light. And when they emerge, When they finally step out of the basement into the open air, the sun is shining exactly as the child drew it. 118 explained. 118. This number is not random. Let's look at the numerology. In the ancient practice of gematria, numbers carry spiritual weight. They're not just quantities, they're qualities, they're frequencies, they're messages. 118, break it down, 1 + 1 + 8 = 10, and 10 is one of the most sacred numbers in the entire Kabbalistic tradition. 10 is the number of the Wheel of Fortune in the Tarot. Card 10, the wheel that turns, the cycle of fate, the endless rotation of fortune and misfortune, rise and fall, life and death, the wheel that keeps turning whether you want it to or not. 10 is also the number of Sephirot on the Kabbalistic tree of life, the 10 divine emanations through which the infinite makes itself known in the finite world, the 10 stages of consciousness from the most material to the most divine, and 10 reduces to 1. 1 + 0 = 1, the magician, card 1 in the tarot, the individual will, the conscious choice, the moment of agency, the point where the cycle can be broken. So 118 is the number of the wheel completing itself, of the cycle reaching its fullness, of the soul finally accumulating enough consciousness to make a different choice. But there's more. 118 is also the atomic number of Oganesson, the heaviest element on the periodic table, the last element, the one at the very edge of what matter can be before it becomes something else entirely, the boundary between the known and the unknown. 118 attempts, 118 deaths, 118 rebirths. The hero has reached the edge of what's possible within the loop. He's exhausted every variation, tried every approach, made every mistake, and now he's at the boundary, the place where matter becomes something else, where the loop becomes something else. In shamanic traditions, the initiate must die many times before they can truly live. Each death strips away another layer of the false self, another illusion, another attachment, 117 resets, 117 layers of the self stripped away, and on the 118th attempt, what's left? What remains after everything false has been burned away? The truth, the real self, the soul that was always there beneath the loops and the deaths and the failures. This is the secret of the number. It's not about how many times you fail, it's about what the failures remove. Each loop is a purification, each death is an initiation, each failure is a teaching. The Sufi poet Rumi wrote, "The wound is the place where the light enters you." 118 wounds, 118 places where the light entered, until the hero was more light than wound, more truth than illusion, more soul than ego, and then, finally, he was ready. 118 is the number of a soul that has been refined by fire, purified by repetition, awakened by accumulated suffering into something that can finally see clearly enough to act. The wheel turns 118 times, and on the 118th turn, the wheel stops. Not because someone stopped it, but because the soul finally understood why it was turning. Doomscrolling. I want to talk to you directly now, not about the film, about you, because this final secret isn't hidden in the movie. It's hidden in your pocket. It's in your hand right now. It's the reason you're watching this video instead of doing the thing you know you should be doing. The zombified teens in this film are not a metaphor. They're a documentary. They walk through the night with their eyes on their screens. Completely absorbed, completely absent. Present in body, but gone in spirit. They're not sleeping, they're not unconscious, they're in a trance. A waking trance, the most dangerous kind, because you can't wake someone up who doesn't know they're asleep. The phones in this film are the mechanism of the Gnostic prison. The Demiurge doesn't need chains, doesn't need walls, doesn't need guards. It just needs your attention, your continuous, fragmented, dopamine-addicted attention. Every notification is a hook. Every scroll is a prayer to the false god. Every like, every share, every comment is a small sacrifice on the altar of the algorithm. And the algorithm is hungry. It's always hungry. It's never satisfied. Because it's not alive. And dead things can never be filled. The blue light of the screen is the inverted sun, the false light, the counterfeit dawn that keeps you in the night. You think you're seeing, you think you're connected, you think you're informed, but you're in the cave, watching shadows on the wall, mistaking the reflection for the real. Plato described this 2,500 years ago. The prisoners in the cave who've never seen the sun, who think the shadows are reality, who would rather stay in the cave than face the blinding truth of the light. The doom scroll is the cave. The algorithm is the shadow puppet master, and we are the prisoners who've forgotten we're imprisoned. But here's what the film understands that most people miss. The darkness isn't only outside you. The Demiurge isn't only in the machine. There's a part of you that chooses the scroll. A part of you that reaches for the phone at 2 a.m. A part of you that would rather be distracted than present. That would rather consume than create. That would rather watch than do. This is the inner Demiurge, the shadow within, the part of the psyche that's afraid of the great work, that's afraid of what you might become if you put the phone down and actually sat with yourself in silence. Because the great work is terrifying. The alchemical transformation of the self requires you to face everything you've been avoiding. Every wound, every fear, every unlived life, every abandoned dream. The scroll keeps you from all of that. It's comfortable, it's easy, it's endless. And that's the trap. Not the AI, not the algorithm, not the Demiurge. The trap is the part of you that prefers the comfortable darkness to the uncomfortable light. The heroes in this film fight their way through the night. Through monsters, pig-masked enemies, and through dying Taurus fields. They descend into the inferno and climb back out. And they emerge into the sunrise. But the sunrise doesn't come to you. You have to climb toward it. You have to choose it. You have to put down the phone and walk up the stairs and open the door and step outside. The great work is waiting. It has always been waiting. Patient as the sun, certain as the dawn. The question is not whether the light exists. The question is whether you're willing to stop scrolling long enough to see it. Good luck. Have fun. Don't die. The universe is still speaking. Are you still listening? Good luck, have fun, don't die. Is not a film only about artificial intelligence. It's a film about consciousness. About the ancient war between the false light and the real light, between the comfortable prison and the terrifying freedom, between the scroll and the sunrise. We decoded 10 secrets today. The title as a soul's instruction, the drawing as prophecy, the endless loop as samsara, the AI as our collective shadow, the pig masks as Circe's corruption, the sacred feminine as the wound that opens the door, the cat monster as the shadow of a shadow, the basement as the inferno, the number 118 as the soul refined by fire, and the doom scroll as the inner Demiurge keeping you from your great work. Every symbol connects, every secret reinforces the others, because this film is a complete initiatory system, a modern mystery school, a psychomagic ritual disguised as a sci-fi thriller, and now you've been initiated. So here's what I want you to do. Put the phone down after this video, not forever, just for a moment. Go outside, look at the sky, draw a sunrise if you have to, remind yourself what the real light feels like, then come back and tell me. Which secret hit you hardest? Which symbol are you still thinking about? Drop it in the comments. Let's decode this together. And if you want more of this, if you want to go deeper into the occult secrets hidden in movies, subscribe to Occult Cinema. Because we're just getting started. Next, we're going deeper into films that hide even older secrets, even darker symbols, even more dangerous truths. Until then, keep climbing, keep seeking, keep choosing the light. The sunrise is waiting.